Was it pretty? Not at all. But it's a win nonetheless. This is not a game that we are going to put in the record books as one of the greatest Raptor games of the season. But what it is win number 54 on the year, and that's really all it is. As the Raptors come away with the 116-112 victory over the Brooklyn Nets, and with that win, 30-6 at the Air Canada Center. This ties the 06-07 Raptors for second place on the all-time home wins in a season. The first team is 2014-2015 Raptors, where they won 32 games at home, and obviously that's only 2 games away. Raptors can do that no problem. They got to find a way to play better, though, down the stretch. Obviously, 3 massive games coming up here at the end of the month. Got a couple games to get through before we get there. But, again, this team can do it, but they just got to grind, and they got to play better than they did today. And you know what? We've got to gotten used to this. As much as I hate it, and I really don't like when we start playing like this, we've gotten used to the whole down at the half, slowly crawl back in the third quarter, and even that really didn't work. And then you make that giant push in the fourth to come barely away with the victory. Why do I say that? Well, let's break this puppy down and find out. Why don't we, eh? So, first quarter, Raptors looked like they were doing just fine. They were up 6 or something at the, I think it was 6 or 7, late in the first quarter, and then a 7-8-0 run, 7 or 8-0 run by the Brooklyn Nets, and bang, you're down 1 after 1. That's a hard pill to swallow. Why? And plus, one of the worst offensive teams in the league, understandably so, the Brooklyn Nets, fire up 32 points in the first quarter. Not good enough. We've talked about in the last few games about the Raptors, or like the last game against Cleveland and the game against Oklahoma City. Your defense has not been sharp at all. And it, again, was not in the first quarter. You go to the second quarter, you give up another 32. Wide open looks, easy looks. Raptors scored 28, but you're stuck 5 at the half, which isn't all that bad. Again, like I said, we've kind of gotten used to that. But the problem is, you gave up 64 points in the first half to a not-so-good offense in the Brooklyn Nets. Why? Because no one was taking a man. There was a lot of wide-open looks. They were making some tough shots, too. But you know why? Because they made some open looks, so they had some momentum. They had some positivity. They're like, all right, we can make some shots. But the Raptors didn't make it difficult. We go to the second half, kind of what we've seen. You know, the Raptors dig in defensively. You know, they only give up 27. However, you only scored 25, so you're stuck 7 after 3. You've lost 3 of the 4 quarters already. You've lost 3 of 3 already at that point. And at one point in the fourth, you're down by 10. And then a switch flips. And Kyle Lowry doesn't turn into almost 32-year-old Kyle Lowry. He flashed back to a few years ago where he was Mr. Fourth Quarter for this team. And he drives. He's a pest. He's a pain in the rear in the offense, making everything look gorgeous for the Raptors. They slowly start clawing back. They make it a 5-point game. Goes back up to 7. Down to 3. You get it to 1. You take the lead. You're down by 1. And then that big push by the Raptors to get that lead up there a little bit. And they were able to hang on to that and come away with the victory. The Raptors were plus 11 in the fourth quarter. But that is not how you want to win. Because against good teams, like we've seen from Cleveland, like we've seen from Oklahoma City. Yes, the Raptors' offense has been there. We've talked about it in those games. How in the Oklahoma City game, I think the Raptors scored, 38 points in the first quarter, and the Raptors in the first quarter of the Cleveland game shot 35 or something. That's great and all. But in both games, if I'm not mistaken, you give up 40 plus in the first quarter. That's the problem. The offense isn't the issue. It's the defense. Now I am hoping and praying that this fourth quarter defense we saw today is something that continues moving forward. Now let's break down to some stats and kind of see where the Raptors went good. Where did they go wrong? Well, they shot 48% from the field, 48% from 3, 14 of 29. Look at that, only 29 attempts. Not what we're used to seeing as of late, but good looks, and you made 14 shots. You made your threes. You didn't start chucking them up like crazy. They only shot 27, a team who really likes taking the three. Two teams who really like taking the three, neither team shot more than 30 of them. So that was a different type of game. Free throws were a big issue for this team today, especially DeMar DeRozan, who really had a tough game. Yes, he had 21 points, but he was 88 of 21 shooting and 5 of 9 from the free throw line and 0 of 4 from 3. He had a tough game. You look at 21 points and you're like, oh yeah, he had a pretty good game. No, he didn't really shoot the ball that great. Defensively, he looked like he was getting blown by a few times. Didn't have a great night for him, but that is why this is a team game, and this is why the team stepped up for him not playing the greatest. He did make some big shots, but he also missed some key free throws down the stretch. Rebounds, the Raptors were plus 3, 43 to 40. The offensive glass was tied apiece 5-5. 25 assists for the Raptors. Great job there. 8 steals to their 4, 8 blocks. And the nice thing, only 9 turnovers for the Raps. So they were taking care of the basketball, and when they were making mistakes, they were dead ball. And that's what you want to see. If you're going to turn the ball over, make it a dead ball turnover. No that stupid get out and run crap. What the Raptors love to do. But my player of the game, Kyle Lowry. I know JV, guys. I know JV was 23 and 8, and it seemed like every shot was going in except for his threes, but he did go 1 of 4 from 3. He was 6 of 6 from the line, 8 of 14 from the field, and he was terrific. Especially in only 21 minutes played, he had 23 and 8. Efficient as heck. I'm happy about JV, but Kyle Lowry, when DeMar was not on the floor, and when this team was struggling, he was huge. And do I need to say anything else other than triple-double? There you go. 25 points, 10 rebounds. 10 rebounds was on the last shot there at the end of the game. And 12 assists on 7 of 11 shooting. 6 of 6 from the line. And the beautiful number, 5 of 6 from 3 and a plus 11 on the floor for Kyle. He was a dog. Also becoming the best, or scoring the most threes in a season in Raptors history, beating his other 3 records. I think it's like 200. If I'm not mistaken, it's 213. I think it is. Was what is the number he did to pass? I think it was at 212 a couple of years ago. But good job, Kyle. He's had one heck of a season. He's done a lot for this team. He's averaging 16.6 points a game, 6.7 assists, and 5.6 boards. But it's just what he does. He drives this team. And when his buddy DeMar is not shooting the ball the greatest, he's there to help him out. And that's what we saw today. And it does help when you have guys on the bench that you know consistently are going to do terrific. Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet with huge nights. Freddie was 16 points, 6 boards on 6 of 12 shooting, and 4 of 7 from 3 and a plus 10 on the floor, of course. And Siakam, 11 points, 8 rebounds. He has been terrific over the last little while, especially shooting the 3. He was, what was he today? 2 of 2 taking the 3, plus 7 on the floor. And a very surprising thing that I saw today, Jakob Poeltl. We saw in the last game against Cleveland, he had 17 points and he was on fire. He was on fuego. Today, he played 7 minutes. No points, 3 rebounds, and assists. I mean, yeah, he was a -9 when he was on the floor, but don't you give him a chance to redeem himself? I mean, Lucas Nogueira in his 12 minutes of work, 4 points, a board, assist, a steal, 3 blocks on 1 of 3 shooting, and he made the 1 3 he took, and he was a plus 10 on the floor. But I mean, Jakob Poeltl's your guy. Don't you want to give him another look? I don't know. It worked out in the end, but I want to throw a question out to you guys. Why did Jakob Poeltl not play barely at all in this one? He played the second quarter, and things weren't going well, obviously, in the second quarter defensively. But what was the problem? Was it the physical game was too much? You wanted a guy who had length like Nogueira in there? Or, what do you guys think it was? Because they play smaller, obviously, with Cunningham at the 5, and he's only 6'8", so you didn't need the towering guys out there. But why not Jakob Poeltl? Because we know he's versatile. I'm curious. I'm very curious what you guys have to say. But nonetheless, as much as this is not a pretty win, it's not a win that we're going to chalk up into the record books. It's not going to happen. But what it is, like I said off the top, it's win number 54 on the year. And coming into the game, you've lost 2 of your last 3. I know it sounds a lot worse than it actually is, but you got back in the win column against a team you should beat at home. You should have beat them more, but you won nonetheless. And And Portland plays Boston tonight. All right, it's on right now. It's the first quarter. Boston loses. We got a 5.5 game lead. Obviously, Kyrie is having that surgery. I think it is tomorrow. So, I mean, it's Raptors' first seed looks pretty good. But, hey, you never know. All right, so next up for the Raptors, they obviously Sunday, 6 p.m. tip-off at the Air Canada Center. Raptors welcome in the Los Angeles Clippers. The Blake Griffin-less LA Clippers. It's going to be weird. I mean, obviously, we've seen him a few times with Detroit, but it's going to be weird not seeing him with the Clippers, with DeAndre on the inside. Hey, you know what? Let's get a second win. Let's get some juice rolling here, because that 3-game stretch coming up, you want to get on a nice roll heading into that, all right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed this video, and you guys enjoyed this game. Smack that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below what you guys think of this game. Who's your player of the game? What'd you give it to Freddie? What'd you give it to JV? What'd you give it to Kyle? What'd you give it to DeMar? I want to hear what you guys have to say, and we'll talk to you guys Tuesday podcast. We'll be talking Raptors. We'll be talking Blue Jays. We'll be talking Leafs. And obviously around those leagues as well. Link is in the description for the podcast channel and for the podcast itself on iTunes. Go check that out down below. Twitter's down there as well. We'll talk to you guys Monday, Blue Jays edition, as that'll be the last spring training video before the season gets going on Thursday. Hopefully a season preview video out to you guys on Wednesday night. Just a heads up there that might be happening. And we'll talk to you guys tomorrow, Leafs edition, as they're taking on the Red Wings after that big win against Nashville. Austin Matthews obviously back. It's great to have him back. You take on Detroit at the Air Canada Center, looking for their second straight win. And as for the Raptors, like we say, they are taking on the LA Clippers Sunday early evening, 6 p.m. tip-off at the Air Canada Center. Let's go for 2 straight. We'll talk to you guys then.